Hello, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Reporter's Notebook. For those of you who have not tuned in and watched Reporter's Notebook before, it's where we get a chance to sit down at the end of our day and chat with one of our reporters who was out in the field covering a story and go a little behind the scenes on that story they covered and just dive a little deeper into the daily life of a reporter here at WNCT. So today I'm joined by Miss Kayla Schmidt. She's joining us on Skype. Hi, Kayla. How are you doing?
Hi, Emily. You guys get a sneak peek of my home.
It looks beautiful. So
Thank
Kayla is out in Jacksonville today. Sometimes she is here in Greenville in the studio, but she is in Jacksonville today for this Wednesday. So Kayla, talk to us a little bit about what the story was that you covered today, because you did one pretty local and close to home for you.
Yes, for sure. So I wanted to just kind of localize the fact that there is going to be bans now on the shutoffs. So for utilities. So people are going to be starting to get their utilities shut off, to get their water and sewer shut off if they do not pay their bills, which in the time of COVID, the governor did pass some orders letting people, have some leeway time. But now that time has kind of come to an end. So I spoke with the city manager of Jacksonville on how they are just handling customer debt and if they have any shutoffs already, and they actually do. So I will kind of talk you through how they're handling that. The Jacksonville Water and Sewer actually is in charge of 17,000 customers throughout the city. Uh, Woodrow, who is the city manager, he said that only 1,500 reported that they were having issues due to COVID-19. So he says from that point in the beginning, from 1,500 to now, it has now gone down to 200 people that are still struggling. So there's payment plans and different ways to kind of help people keep their utilities, keep their lights on, keep their electricity on, keep their water running while kind of getting back on their feet still from COVID-19, which is still among us.
Awesome. And just like you said, a lot of people, yes, a lot of people are back to work. We're able to have access to a lot of other stores and restaurants now. So a lot of people kind of forget that there's still some people really dealing with the hit of COVID-19 financially and still struggling with everyday necessities like electricity, like their water, like things like that. And a lot of people forget that this is still happening for a lot of people. So that's awesome that, the city of Jacksonville is really trying to fix this for the people in their community. And I mean, just that drop from, you said 1,000 to 200 people that have been having issues. I mean, that's a big deal still. That's very significant. So that's wonderful.
Yes. And that doesn't mean they've paid off all the debt. It just means they've set up a payment plan with the city, a 6-month payment plan. So they'll pay their average monthly bill plus 1/6 of what their debt that they acquired during the time of COVID-19 shutoffs would have been. So that is how they are handling the debts there. Also, he said out of the 200 people that are considered delinquent or that they stopped giving service to, a lot of them, well, I don't want to say a lot, some of them moved and just didn't shut off their accounts. So some have nothing to do with the fact that there was a ban, some just up and left being a military town. It's really common for people to kind of go back and forth and move fast. So he said upon investigation, some of the unpaid bills were just people that didn't live here anymore.
That's really interesting. I never thought of it like that, actually. So that's really cool. Or not cool, but that's an interesting, aspect of it. You don't think that people will just move up and leave and forget to shut it off or So that's really interesting, but
Yeah.
it's good that, you know, the city is obviously taking steps to get the members of its community back in the right place, back on their feet. So that's really awesome. I know Greenville Utilities was doing similar things back in the middle, towards the end of the pandemic, towards the end of phase 2, before we switched into phase 2.2, if you want to call it. So that's really awesome that Jacksonville is continuing on with this. Do they have any plans, if anyone you spoke to, do they have any plans on how long they're going to try to continue this for? Do they have an end date, or are they just going to kind of, you know, roll with it as it goes and just try to keep helping these people for as long as they can?
Well, the city manager says the 200 people that are have lost water connection, they're in contact with them every day, just trying to get them on a plan and trying to figure out what's going on. So I think it's just getting in contact with these residents and going from there.
Gotcha. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with us about this. This is some really good information for people in those areas. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you everybody for watching this edition of Reporter's Notebook. Have a great rest of your day.